Welcome back, and that was a very sudden change in music. We need that music to like just continue on, lowly in the background. Do we have the music channel there?
No, we don't.
Something needs to be sorted there. We'll put that as a little tip later for the other games going on today, because it's not only Rocket League that is currently going on. We have CS and
League.
Is it League of Legends
League later on.
So, of course, Rocket League just got the unfortunate early bird slot today, so we all had to get up out of bed at like 7 a.m, which, I mean...
I think that was partially on me, because I thought I was just going to wake up a little bit early. I thought my alarm was quiet enough to sort of wake up me, but not you. So I was hoping I could get up, maybe take a shower if I could, and then I'll be ready. But I don't think I could have done that without waking you up at any point of the process. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think this is the least important thing that we have to deal with. As before, took a break for some unfortunate technical difficulties, which we have solved now. You could tell by slightly decreased quality in the stream. We've fixed the problems. It's 12. It's just 1280 720.
Yep.
Instead of 1080. But at the moment, before we left off of the break, Lancaster had taken a 2-game lead over Loughborough after 2-1 games.
That's the big surprising thing there. It was 2-1 each time, and it was Lancaster. I said it before, just being able to etch out the win. It was a very, very narrow victory. And it's all coming down to Loughborough giving a little bit too much space over the Lancaster, isn't it?
We constantly said that before the break about Tylacto. As soon as he sees a hint of hesitation, he goes for it. But I think now that he's starting to do that, Deletus Mac and Orion have both sort of went, they're hesitating, we have time. So they're starting to feel a lot more comfortable in the way they're playing as well. And having 3 confident players to deal with, and one of them being Tylacto, that's massive against Loughborough. They've given way too much time in the previous 2 games, and now they're at this point with a very confident
The weird
Lancaster
thing
team.
is, when Tylacto sees the opportunity, he goes for it. It's not like he's pouncing on the ball or anything. It's more like he'll just wiggle his way, like waddle his way, if anything, downfield.
He just uses his time. He has it, so he'll use it.
And this is the problem. In Rocket League, you have to react so fast. You cannot give your opponent time or space. Like we were saying earlier, comparing Lancaster to Weedham Gales in the sense of Weedham Gales force the space, but of course Lancaster always just wait for that space to open for them. So we're expecting them to try and continue with that style. It really comes down to Loughborough here to be able to change things up. Joining back on in, like we said, already 2-0 to Loughborough before we had those errors. Of course, it is going to be Loughborough in the blue and Lancaster in the orange once again. Here we go. Oh, Champions Field is a beautiful stadium, but let's see some beautiful Rocket League as Deletus Mac has to keep it in the corner. Good hit out to centre. And no one there from Loughborough to clear it away. Ryan just stalling the ball, and it is a bit dangerous hitting it up against those walls. Back towards the middle.
It's much better from Loughborough. Much better to start off with. They have seemed to start a little bit close there, but they have seemed to sort of start trying to engage in that midfield defense, which they love as well. They love putting on constant pressure, and the midfield defense is hugely part of it, as Orion makes a fantastic save to send it up and over the bar, but Loughborough, they still have possession to keep this play going.
Some odd little double commits coming out from Loughborough, I'm going to say. It almost seems like it's planned to make Lancaster question themselves. Ryan with a very, very last second clutch defense. Ball out to mid. Deleterious Matt can't get onto it, unfortunately. Ryan to Talacto. Oh, good read there from Egregious as he gets it down to the corner. Looking for the pass out to middle. It's going to be very, very slow. Orion picking up on the pass from Lacto, sends it all the way back to net. In front of net, you do not take it across Matt, but he seems to hold it tight with Egregious's help.
Loughborough, they're sort of being the patient ones now. They're waiting for the attacks, but Lancaster, they're perfectly happy to do that. They're perfectly happy to sort of say, right, you're giving us time. Yeah, we can take our time then. And they're not even taking their opportunities because they know that they can ease one out just like that. Easy save, but Orion gets a shot on target, and that's more and more pressure being put on this Loughborough defense.
Loughborough's defense does hold solid though. Decent rotations in the back line. Maybe not on the intercepting player, but the back defender there. Caster's curse as I was praising it actually. Egregious didn't know what to do in the net here.
Looked like for a moment he popped up for a moment, but then he realized Tylacto's getting a second touch. So he kind of needs to be aware of that, but
It was a deer in headlights.
deer in headlights. It was sort of overthinking for a moment. There's like, all right, Tylacto's already got a touch. If I go up, he's going to go down, but Tylacto decides, I have a plan already. I'm going to put it in.
What
Just
a
like Mish there.
response.
Mish has a plan, and that plan is to send it straight into the top shelf of the net here. He sees he has time, and that's a fantastic bump by Matt M. Just flying across, taking out one player, gives Mish time. It's been a constant factor for both teams, this time that they give themselves and give each other that's lending themselves to these goals. And Loughborough, they're starting to find their way to give themselves that all-important time.
Well, from that goal, you look at it and think they're giving it all into the attack. Finite amount of resources and none of it allocated to defense. Good hit towards the net from Mish. Egregious does get the blocking play. Going to try and pressure this back line as Mish slows it down. Looking for a pass, but no one there to receive it. Two teammates going back in defense, trying to grab boost. They've got to hold that midfield line, take that mid boost instead of going the whole way back. You can see here from Loughborough, they're following the same lines on the same side of the pitch. Matt M being caught off guard here. That's a big no-no from me.
As soon as they tried to make that transition. In fact, the first game, if I go back to the notes, one of the things I said about Loughborough is they struggled to transition against this Lancaster team completely. They were trying to transition there, they caught themselves out of position, and Tylacto, as soon as he sees something out of position, he takes that opportunity. As soon as he sees the open net, he's not thinking, all right, I'm just going to dribble up to it. He's thinking, yeah, I'm just going to whack it. It's going into the net.
He's a cheeky little monkey and will do as he wants, it seems. Mish in the corner. Does have to get this away. Really, really odd bump, and Matt M getting demoed. Does respawn back into the lobby and will find his way down to the corner. Big hit from the 50-50 down. Tylacto going to send that wide. You can see here with that, it's just him lining up team plays and keep it under his control. And you can see Lancaster wants to change that. Loughborough had way too much possession of the ball in this game so far, and Lancaster want to now transition it into their favour and hold out the 2-1 win once again.
So Matt M brings that forward. Matt M has wonderful mechanics as Grand Champ, so again, it's kind of the same factor with this Tylacto factor that we've talked about of giving him time is an awful thing to do. Matt M, top 500 player. He knows how to eke out a play when he needs to. But at the moment, if Lancaster keeps shutting him down when they need to, they'll be fine. Matt M previously, the player I was talking about, he dribbled it past one, but Delicious Mac. As soon as it became slightly free, Delicious Mac was there. That's how this Lancaster team is doing this. Every time they see one opportunity to take the ball off Loughborough, that's what they do.
30 seconds remaining, and there is up on screen as well. Ball into the center as Mish can't get a hold of it. Delicious Mac, so good on the defense. Matt M just sends it straight down to Orion, who wants to kill this in the corner. Matt M continuing the attack right up into the corners. This time Lacto gets it across. The attack continues. Loughborough really trying to hound it on down. They want to get that last second goal, but he's just evading them at this moment in time. Tylacto bump and miss as the ball hits the ground. Lancaster move onto a series point.
Allow me to change that, give myself a moment, but again, a 2-1 scoreline. This is a constant factor between these two teams. They don't want to score more goals.
No. I mean, we talk about consistency, and here we have it. Like, this is perfect consistency, if anything, and it's not something that Loughborough are going to want to stay consistent, because another 2-1, another win for Lancaster, and let's just say our jobs here are done. We're going to be handing it on over to the CS boys.
I hope they have a long series. But
yeah, it's not going to be like CS, even if it is a straight sweep, is still about 25 minutes.
Yeah. But for this Loughborough team, there have been so many sort of sparks that I would sort of go, that's the Loughborough team that I know and love, like, when they're playing against this Lancaster team.
Nothing's ignited yet for them. There is no fiery, burning passion going on.
There's those sparks, but not the full-on blaze that I really want to see from the Loughborough team. At the moment, Lancaster, they're running away with it just by doing their usual game of, well, shutting down Loughborough at every opportunity. I think the one thing Loughborough needs to do, be a little bit unpredictable.
In what sense?
Lancaster know that they like the midfield defense.
Yep.
They know they like the constant pressure. So what maybe Loughborough needs, take away the midfield defense, which I know sounds risky, but just blast it outfield and chase.
A cherry picker, sort of a Jacob on your team.
Jacob, a lot. We've seen so many of those cherry picker players in the past. But with the lower ranked players, the Champ 3 Orion and the Champ 2 Deletris Mac, that could open up a whole new avenue of plays if they open up that cherry picker role.
Let's hopefully find that new avenue now, as we are currently on Sweep Street. We want to go on to that 3-1. We want a game 7, but it's got to be a massive turnaround. Lancaster just a little bit too high on that hit. Denied the opening goal. Ball out from Delirious Matt to Tylacto. Matt M just intercepts it. Double commit here in the corner, both covering the same space, and Egregious, the only man going downfield. No one coming down with him. He is on his own. Matt M does come in a little bit late, but isn't there to offer any help apart from this block in the midfield.
Matt M has elected to choose his guys, gone back to the Dominus, which he's done in previous weeks. Dominus providing sometimes a little bit more precision in the aerials factor, so maybe he's just feeling his aerials are just that little bit off. He's not quite getting the touches that he wants. At the moment, Tylac's got time. Deletus Matt goes for the bump. That's a great recovery from Mish. So many just unique plays being brought in from Lancaster, but the one that goes in is just a pinch off the sidewall from Orion. Well, not a pinch, just a normal shot, really, that Egregious blocks and it ricochets into the back of the net.
After that one, F's in chat, I think, because
F's in chat.
That is unfortunate. Just the block pinch straight into your own net. That is a backfire and a half for Loughborough. They got to form everything together. Tylacto not even going to allow them down to the midfield line. He is closing them out in the back 25%. Mish having to rotate downfield. He's trying to set up that cherry picker sort of movement that you're asking for, but without the ball being down sent to him, he's not going to be able to do it. They're struggling to get out there in back lines, and when they do get down the end of the field, no one's pressuring Lancaster here, are they?
Not at all. All three of them are still staying back. You see, Mish, he's trying to move up to the midfield line, so he's still sort of trying to think, all right, if we want a cherry picker role going on, I need sort of trust in my teammates sort of be only 2 back. If I go to the midfield line, that's the start of the cherry picker role. That was the start of being ready, all right, saying to your teammates, all right, I'm here, blast it ahead of me, I'm going to do something real cool.
Well, there's a blast, but to no one in particular. Orion Is found by Matt M. Can we get this over to Mish off the backboard? Needs to follow through from Regis, but unfortunately the whiff comes out. Delirious Matt just sees the goal in front of him, sends it downfield, but it is met by Matt M. Mish onto the ball, looking for space. He will have Ty Lacto to deal with, and Ty Lacto with the fake keeps it away. Little pop as well from him as Orion just wants to send that down, get the clearance away. And it looks like Lancaster are just comfortable to play this game with Loughborough. Loughborough not challenging them enough, and that's got to be changed. Lancaster are just looking to keep bouncing it out left, right, and centre, and wait for that next opportunity to score a goal. Because at the moment,
oh, there it is!
It's a ball.
I love it. I asked for a cherry picker roll, and I think we're way too close to them because they must have heard us. Matt M goes up, and just the slightest little redirect to send it straight past Deletris Mack into the back of the net. We have a tied game, 1:38 to go. The cherry picker, that might be what Love needs to bring it back.
And the thing is, because they changed it up so suddenly, Lancaster weren't expecting it. It's what we've been asking all along. It's what they should have been doing, but they weren't pulling off into those last bits of the game. We still got a minute 30 left. Remember, so there's still a lot to happen. This is the potential for Loughborough to come back into it. They've just got to find a second goal now. A second one before Lancaster do anyway, if Patton is to follow Orion on the ball. Matt M, unfortunately.
Well, there it is.
No! Denied. Right on the line by Talacto. Matt M keeps the attack going. Regis off to the corner. Was trying to look for Matt M. Buy a bit of time as well. Mish doing the exact same. Off to Matt M. Wanting to bounce that out, but unfortunately not enough power on it. Talacto with a big boy clear is going to put it all the way down to the blue end of the pitch, right into their back line. And oh, how the tables have turned. Matt M, though, gets a very nice hit. Can't get the block, but Regis, well-formed defense.
Oh, a little bit too much of a touch from Matt M there. But this cherry picker roll, they've decided to change his tactics so quickly that Lancaster are completely thrown off. 25 seconds to go, and this could be it.
Brilliant control there from Mish. Really pulls Orion out early for the prediction, and then Regis hops onto it. He's going to be a happy bunny hopping about that pitch. As 25 seconds left to go, and it's Loughborough for the first time in the lead.
Such a Loughborough, from what we've learned at least, they have this sort of one plan. And because all three of them Grand Champs, they have the speed, they have the mechanics. The 2-1 curse is broken, but that is great for Loughborough. They're breaking curses left, right, and centre. History may be against them. Best of 7 reverse sweeps don't happen often. But I think Loughborough, they're well up for it.
And we thought Nottingland might just be a bit of a boring affair with this prediction of a very heavily favoured Lancaster game. But Loughborough have finally found the answer. But Ty Lacto, he's not going down without a fight.
This is Rocket League, but I'm not sure if we can say it because it isn't tying up the game or ending it.
Can we just stop that meme? Like, I absolutely hate it.
No.
With a passion.
No. Bring it into 20.
It may be a 0-second goal here, but that had no.
Exactly. It's not exactly This is Rocket League because it doesn't tie or win a game. I think that's a general rule. This is Rocket League moment. You have to be tying or winning.
So what that does do there, remember you got to update the scoreboard.
Yes, I do.
For the next bit. He's just going in the studio mode on OBS. What that does do there, though, is give Lancaster that, I won't say, sort of consolation goal. It's like going into the next one and like, yeah, you may have beaten us, but remember, we got that last goal. We know how to beat you. Don't get too cocky, Loughborough, with that one. You've got to do it again and again and again to get the win. They have to now win 3 more games back to back. They have to do the 4 in a row to get the win. The full reverse sweep, which on a best of 7, I don't think has been seen for a long time.
It hasn't been seen in a long time. The last time I remember was Season 4 Regionals. I think that was PSG versus Mocket.
So we're even going with like proper top end Rocket League.
That is
it
proper
hasn't even
top
been
end,
seen
and
here in NSE.
It hasn't seen at top end. It hasn't been seen for ages. In NSE, can it be done? Student level esports. Loughborough needs to start being able to change up their tactics in an instant. Like just like that previous game, they switched it up straight into the cherry picker roll. No blinking. They just kind of did it. And that's how their tactics need to be. To catch this Lancaster team off guard, they need to be maybe switch. They can't fault from here, but unfortunately Deleterious Max says, well, you're not going to fault. I'm just going to do something real cool. Oh my goodness.
What?
That's more than a dunk. That's telling them to shut up.
That is a diggity dunk, I do believe. We shall call it that. The extra little bit special on top. 5 seconds into the game, and get dunked, son. 1-0 in favor to Lancaster, as they are saying that last game was just a little whoopsie, a little bit of an upset, a mess on the carpet. They're not going to let that happen again. The dog has been trained better now, and Lancaster are going to absolutely look to bomb their opponents out of the grand finals. Egregious on the ball, up into the air. Can't connect with the ceiling, so we get that extra jump, and unfortunately no boost does make it an awkward affair, but look at that, downfield. Lots of space, but Matt M getting caught up, didn't want to intercept and connect with Egregious. They need to be communicating a little bit better, but Matt M with great blocks does get a hold of the ball and creates that midfield line of pressure.
I think that was actually a smart little choice, letting Deleterious Max sort of, it's a champ too, taking that sort of all-important touch. So I think as a grand champ he's thinking, okay, whatever touch you do, I'm ready for it. I know it's just going to be a light little touch that you want to use to control it. I don't care if you want to control it. You just dunked me. You dunked my teammate. And Egregious, that's a lovely pass in between the Loughborough players. This is what the Loughborough I love to see. A Mish.
What
he fakes out 2 players to bring that opportunity up. Fantastic from Mish, fantastic from Egregious, and Loughborough tie the game with 3:45 left.
A move worth 1,000 words, that one from Mish. Pulls out 2 defenders nonetheless and absolutely sets up the play. Great work from him. Does only tie it up though. They've got to find a second one to regain that lead, and maybe just maybe start making these Lancaster lads cry a little bit. We want to see pain here. Deleterious Matt gets the ball up in the air. Mish straight down to the center. Ryan allows Tylat to sweep on in. And here comes Orion once again. Not going to be repaid the favor of a touch on the ball. So that's right out. Ryan just looking to pressure that around to the corner. Buy some space, buy some time, and buy that midfield line. Matt M puts that right up into the center. Dragon already noting down, jotting it on his paper. But what he needs to be jotting is that Loughborough once again get the lead.
Loughborough again, they're starting to master these longer passes. Originally, Loughborough loved to have those short range passes, medium range passes, but now they've added the cherry picker style of play into their playbook, and now they're starting to say, all right, long passes. Lancaster don't particularly like those, so we're just going to blast it high and see how they like it. But Deleterious Mac also likes to blast it high, but when I mean high, it's onto the top shelf of the net, precisely. Deleterious Mac is having a fantastic game, this game 5.
He is indeed. Deleterious Mac is the lad to absolutely turn it up for Lancaster. Not to put any disrespect to the other lads, but, you know, you need to get Deleterious as well. He cannot be carrying this team as the lowest ranked player, remember. He's the one which you're there thinking he could just be what holds this Lancaster side down, but no, he is holding it all up. He's a strong and sturdy lad, as Matt M is able to get that right out to midfield. Tylacto wanting to put this in towards the center, but not a player to receive it. Cheeky little move.
Massive doink upfield.
Good. Do like a little bit of doinkage, me. Tylacto tries.
What I love about Deleterious Mac is how consistent he's decided to stay in terms of the basics. Nothing he does is mechanically crazy, but everything in terms of the basics are just done so right. Every single shot he does is placed beautifully, and every time he sees an opportunity to dunk, well, we saw with the first goal in this game, he loves a good dunk.
Ryan not able to get onto that Mish with the back pass. The side pass, just trying to line it up for the next lad to get onto the ball. And Lacto straight down and true as he looks to send that into the corner. We have Orion following up. The infield pass, but not a player there to receive it. Forcing a lot of pressure though as Matt has to drop it down for Egregious. It's a big hit. Just a little bit high of net, but Matt M cannot finish it off. Mish having a chance, having a crack, having it all. He's had the cake and he is eating it.
That's a very tight angle. This sort of like Mish's take on a Doomsy dish. Just lets it, sees the sort of space behind the defenders in the middle and decides that space would do lovely for that ball. And he just sends it home straight into the top of the net. Orion did not read that back wall bounce at all. He's around the sort of penalty spot area if this was a football pitch rather than being on his goal line. That goes straight in for Mish, and that's 3-2 to Loughborough. They won with this scoreline last game. Can they keep going? They have 50 seconds to hold out with this 1-goal lead. And at the moment, they're doing a fine job of that as they move out to the midfield.
Yeah, if you're Lancaster right now, you got to be tasting that dish and thinking it's a little bit too salty for your liking. They don't want to be losing this situation. You got to think they just won 3 in a row, and now they're being challenged. Mish holds off the line, not a second player to come clean it on up. Lacto, the slow ball, that's easily cleared away from Egregious. Well positioned from the lad. It's in the corner, it just gets a little bit more precarious. It almost feels like Lancaster want this too much. They're desperately hitting the ball, but sometimes desperation and desire can lead to an equaliser.
I told you last night how I get annoyed at Champ 1 players for just hitting it pointlessly. Just big hits, no plan. Loughborough sometimes it can be like that. As soon as they get the cherry picker, as soon as they have someone there, it's not pointless. It's beautifully done. But they seem to be desperate to constantly get that play going without even recognizing if they have a player up. So it just ends up overturning the possession. Lancaster has it. They turn it around, and Lancaster, they have time because all the boost from Loughborough has been wasted on trying to get that one clear upfield that they don't have anyone countering with.
Well, you talk of time, and here's an overtime for you. 3-0. Lancaster brought themselves back into this game, and they now need to buy the victory here. Otherwise, momentum could start just going in Loughborough's favour. Big hit downfield as Lacto gets onto it, and Lacto in overtime here in game number 5 is going to be going home with that big old W. It's the win for Lancaster.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winter split champions. In front of you on the screen, Lancaster. Using Loughborough's own new play against them, that huge cherry picker redirect that Lacto goes straight up for. He knows exactly what he's doing. He just decides go up, get there, touch it down, top of the net. It's just a normal day in the office for Lacto when those come up.
Yeah. Let's see. He's used to it all the time. We feel like maybe just that game beforehand, the 2 beforehand actually, might have been a bit cruel, where Lancaster seemed to drop off a little bit. Don't get me wrong, Loughborough did pick it up, but it was like, you're going from a 10. They turned it down to an 8, and Loughborough just suddenly was able to etch it up where they were given a little bit less pressure to deal with Loughborough, really. And they're able to fight back. All that, of course, pressure that they were putting on was the key to them coming back into it. But Lancaster, they figured it out, were able to turn things around after dropping 3-1, remember, in that game. Got those 2 goals and then got the overtime. Lancaster well and truly had to work for that victory.
Say ratings, like both teams started the series at like 9s. And the first few series, like Lancaster took like a 9.5 and then a 10, and then they got to 3 games and sort of said, let's just drop back down to an 8. But Loughborough, they were still there. The great thing about Loughborough is that they add that consistency to their play. They always have the same intensity going into it. They always think, all right, midfield defense, we're going to suffocate the other team, we're going to take the goals that we can, and then we're going to run away with it. And that's what they've done against previous teams. But Lancaster, they seem to have the Lacto sort of lead to them to sort of go, all right, I know exactly what they're doing, and this is just not going to work against me. I'll just tell my other guys, like, Mac, Orion, this is exactly what they're doing, step by step. Just don't fall into their trap. And that's what it feels like when it comes to this Lancaster team. They do not fall into the other team's trap because Tylacta just knows exactly what's going on.
Well, the Lancasters, like the Lancaster Bomber, are flying high at the moment as they are crowned champions of the NSE Winter Split. Unfortunately for Rocket League, that is done and dusted. We are over, but what do we have coming up next? What is next on everyone's screens?
I believe we have CSGO coming up next.
Yep.
I'm not sure which University Society channel we're going on. I think it's York Fragsock. I think it's going to be on there. It's either that one or Derby.
All right.
It is. I think it's actually Derby who's taking CS:GO and York's taking.
It is Fragsock. We just got confirmation.
We got Fragsock. All right. So Fragsock is going to be taking CS:GO. I'm sure that this channel, the NSE GG channel, they'll be taking the host. They'll be hosting Fragsock's
be throwing it on
channel.
over, of course. Yep.
That's it for Rocket League for this split. We'll be back for the spring split in the new year. But from us, Digital Bacon and RW Dragon, thank you very much for watching the Rocket League Grand Finals, and we'll catch you next split in the new year. Have a happy holidays. And we need to transition.
Yeah.